Hey y'all, what's going on? Hope y'all having a good night. Hope y'all staying warm if you're in the cold stuff. I hope you're out lounging if you're out in California. It's got to be still 80 degrees out there. Not here. Although it is 18 degrees, which is pretty warm compared to what it's been the last 4 or 5 days, I guess now. But Z, how you doing? Dastardly, good to see you. Melody, Grammy Heather, always a minion. Florence, Betty, rather be. Jody, Julie, damn it, Judy, Cartoon Sky, how's it going? We're hey White Snake, Snakeology, Carly, Till the Dirt, Dreamscape, what's happening? GM Flower. That was pretty cool. I saw your note earlier, GM Flower, that you were in Erie in '82 as well. I wasn't far from there. We traveled there for that. Hey Chi, hey Brett, Stony Baloney, what's happening? Um, just gonna just gonna go through some recordings, some audio stuff here tonight, and I thought some of it will be interesting, some will be annoying. Um, One, I'm going to end it with something that I want everybody to hear. I don't know how many have heard it, but it's something I think a lot of people need to hear, really, from somebody's own words. What's going on with ICE and stuff like that. But we got a bit of a, how do I say it? ICE politics, anti-Scientology mix of things tonight. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know how well I'll do with being able to pull it up and play it the right way, but we'll give it a shot. Paige, how's it going? I grew up outside of dreary Erie. Yeah. I was about 45 minutes from Erie, I guess, for most of that time. Yeah, her middle finger monitor's always ready to go. She's gotten real good at that. That's the one thing she can do really fast, is make sure you get that middle finger. She wants to make sure your middle finger monitor is ready to go.
Yeah, I think.
And Lisa says, "Yeah, I think it's okay." But anyhow, how you guys doing tonight? Anything new and exciting to pass around or hear about before I get into all the weird stuff? I don't have a whole lot. We got a few a few clips, and um, I think one of them is like 3 minutes long. The other one is, I think the ice thing at the end will probably be the longest thing of all of it, but hopefully worth hearing. Near town with college, hitchhiking was a mode of transportation. Yeah, it's crazy how hitchhiking used to be a big thing back then. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing somebody hitchhiking somewhere. And it didn't take long to get rides either. I mean, I've done it myself. It wasn't a big deal getting somebody to pick you up. Propane and Mr. Heater. Yeah, we had two of those. And there was a couple times over the last 10 years we used them to help heat the house. It was just so, 20 below with 30-mile-an-hour winds and stuff like that. Even a furnace has a hard time keeping up with it. So every once in a while you got to add a little juice to it. Should I change my name to Mel the Misfit? You can have whatever name you want, Melody. If that works for you, then that works for you. Kyle, what's going on? Worked at the Mill Creek Mall. Man, I haven't heard that for a while. I've been there a bunch of times. It was better to go there than go to Pittsburgh because we had a mall, but it was I don't know, maybe 15 stores altogether. And it had, the biggest thing is it had a theater. So everybody went there because of the theater. If the theater wasn't there, then it wouldn't have done anything. Hi, David. I'm about to drop a video of a young lady who went to school with Boston. It exposes the real creepy Darren. She was the one that told us about Bostard Little Tootsie Roll. Cool. Thanks, Ghost. Look forward to it. Sassy Pants, what's happening? I hitchhiked from Colorado to Wisconsin when I was 18. Hitchhiked all over it back then. Yeah, it's like I said, it's so amazing how, I mean, and I understand it now. I wouldn't suggest anybody hitchhike out there these days because you just never know. But back then it was a whole different ballgame. I mean, you know, especially if it was local, because you know the area I grew up in, odds are you either knew or were related to most of the people on the road, or went to school with them, or their family, or worked with them, or you know something. So it wasn't that big of a deal most of the time. But I mean, I could have hitchhiked to Erie. It takes about 45 minutes or give or take to get from where I live to Erie. And I could have hitchhiked and probably been there in an hour every time I tried. So cool. Ghost Soldier just dropped the video. Everybody check that out. Sure it'd be interesting. Telling. It's amazing how much information's out there. Uber is a form of hitchhiking, but you have to pay. Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, it's, you know, it could sure feel like hitchhiking, I would bet, especially if you hit a busy time. Yeah, don't let anybody name you, Melody. I mean, not that she would steer you wrong or anything, but anyway, I'm gonna get started on this. I don't want to be on for. I mean, I was on for way too long the other night. I mean, I think it was a good stream, and we had a pretty good time talking and chatting and everything else, and everybody was hanging out. But um, it just seemed like it went really too long. So I don't want to do that tonight if I can help it. Not that I'm against, you know, chatting with people. Rather enjoy it. But let me see if I can pull some of this up. I'm not sure which way I want to start this. All right, so I got one that's related to the anti-Scientology stuff, and I got others that are related to politics. Which would you rather hear first? Or we can talk to Anthony. Question: how do you think DOA will handle things once he realizes all this mind mapping work was for nothing? I don't know. How do you think he'll handle it once that happens? I mean, you sound quite sure of that with that question. So what are your thoughts? And I guess I should ask you what makes you think that it's going to be for nothing? Anthony, you blocked a mod. You didn't block a mod in here, did you? Did you really try to block a mod? It is a legit question. Fuck you. It's not. I'm concerned he might lose his mind once he realizes what? Once he realizes. Okay, it's not a legit question because it's based on a really extreme hypothetical. So it's not a legit question. Try harder. It seems like a very loaded question. Clearly, all this work is for nothing. How do you say that? How do you know that? Prove that. Prove that your statement's correct. Give me something to go by as far as how you know you're correct on that. Because I got nothing for you otherwise. Seriously. How do you know it's for nothing? Tell us about it. See, I don't mind when some people come in here and they're not just complete and total assholes when they come in. But and I have no problem going back and forth because see, they come into a public forum and they make a statement like this. It may just be what they're thinking. They may not be trying to be a complete asshole. So I give them a chance to kind of put your money where your mouth is. His arguments are illogical. No, they're not at all. And that's a still very broad statement for you to make because it tells us nothing. What arguments and why are they illogical? There's no meat on the bones of your statement or your question. He debates taking a plea. Wait, where'd it go? He debates taking a plea for a deal that was never offered. And how do you know that? Of course he's going to debate taking a plea. First of all, that's the only remotely accurate thing you've said. But what do you mean a deal was never offered? What are you talking about? Are you getting your information from Becky, the court reporter? Is that where that's coming from, or somebody that heard it from her? He says no deal was offered. I beg to differ. That's not what he says. I'm not going to particularly tell you exactly what he says, but that's not what he said. Yeah, the mind map was useful for gathering info to give the Homeland Security for the swattings. No doubt about that. So that proves your statement wrong already. There was a pretty significant amount of use to it already, and it hasn't even this part of it hasn't even been completed. So what else you got, Anthony? I mean, I don't know who you are. I don't know if this is an alt for somebody, or what's going on, but you might want to unblock my mods because if that's true, then I'll probably block you, ban you from the channel because I don't go for those games. That's horseshit. DOA offered his terms of a deal that DOA may or may not accept. That's a DA. Okay. Now I'm getting somewhere. Now you're saying enough for me to understand where you're getting all your bullshit from. Because see, I've heard all that and I know where that comes from. And I can just tell you that you're getting wrong information. And when you come into a chat like this, okay, when you come into a chat like this with that kind of bullshit that especially myself can recognize, and I know exactly where the information comes from and who it comes from, you make yourself look bad. Just, do you understand that? You're good, White Snake. Very cool. David, I heard DOA say it on a live. No, you did not. No, you did not. That's not at all what he said. Again, what you just said, I've seen in 2 different chats already, one of them very specifically. And it was wrong when they put it in the chat. And you apparently are a party to those chats, or at least one of them, because I know you didn't hear Scott say that shit. And there's lots of people in here right now that can back me up on that. So I heard DOA say it on a live is horseshit. That's just not true. Because see, that's what they say too. He said this on a live, and they pass the information along. But what they're doing is passing misinformation along, whether it be intentionally misinforming people or quote unquote parody delivery, which is a whole nother commentary. but your information's wrong. I mean, and it's easy to prove that wrong. So anyhow, do better, Anthony. You know, come in under your real name. Apparently, you're part of the community enough to know what's going on. Come in under your real name next time, and don't hide behind an alt. That's why the 3 alts that I have are all David B. If I go in somewhere, it's because they're going to know who I am, no matter what. Because going in under a different name to manipulate or deceive or otherwise just doesn't work, especially for me. And see, there people are out there right now saying, "Oh, yeah, but you had that easement one, you used that, and that wasn't your name." Well, fine, that's good. But you know what? When I used the easement one, I didn't use that for anything other than that was who I was at the time. And then I lost it for I don't know how long, year and a half, 2 years, and then all of a sudden, when I had to reformat everything, it came back again. Not even sure how the fuck that happened, but it did. So I've used it a few times, and people know it's me. I don't hide that. I mean, shit. If somebody says, "Who are you?" I say it's David B. Fair enough. Better hide my face, that Danny. Yeah, Danny Coward. That fits, but and it fits also that he would come in here with bad information. But he's not alone on that. That's for sure. You guys know that. That could be any number of people coming in here with bullshit information, claiming that they heard DOA say it on a live or that they have it from a strong source that this is right. It's like no bullshit. You guys don't pay attention. I talked about context the other day pretty extensively, and I don't want to get all the way back into it again. But see, you guys live in a world without context, and when you live in a world, excuse me, without context, you go into chats and make yourself look like a fool because you don't know what you're talking about. If you said accurate information, I would agree with it in a heartbeat. I always do. If somebody says something that's true and correct and accurate, I don't challenge them on that because I don't lie about stuff. I mean, the truth is the truth. Truth always wins. You guys ought to get that through your fucking heads. You can't keep going around telling lies and misinformation and get anywhere with it. It just doesn't work, especially in I'll just say this chat right now. Too many people in here pay too close of attention and have put too much into this to allow people to come through here with a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be upset. Yeah, I've seen Danny out there quite a bit. But here's the funny part. I know he knows that I challenged him to come up on my. Oh, wait a minute! I didn't challenge him. I invited him to come up on my panel and have a discussion. So if he's starving for attention and really wants attention, come on up on the panel, Danny. Odds are you're listening, or somebody else is listening. That's going to let you know. Yeah, come up on the panel. I'll get you the link anytime you're ready. We can toss that around real easy. Two words a minute, and one of them is That's a pretty fair assessment, Chi. I wouldn't argue with that either. Yeah, he would never. How long was Z taking care of Alonzo, and how much total money was spent? I'm not sure how long that was. The total time. It was as long as it needed to be effective. And as far as how much money was spent, who knows and who cares? What the fuck does that matter? Angel, right? Yeah. I mean, seriously. You guys want to come in here and say this shit? I'll respond to it, but you're going to look like fucking idiots. Yeah, there's your answer, Angel, right there from Z or Soul. I didn't count. Sorry. I don't think anybody counted. You know why? Because of fucking how much money she spent and how many days she was there. Doesn't matter, because for those of us that understand what was going on, it was perfect. It was perfect for what it needed to be and what it was meant to be, from beginning to end, from the time she got there till the time she left. You know, I mean, once again, you guys should do better with your questions. See, here's the thing y'all don't understand. We go into places and we troll people, right? It's easy to do because context, first of all. But we go in and we goof on people because I think that's what they want. You know, the chats light up when we go in and do that stuff. We're not nasty. We're not at all. I mean, very few times can you see that anybody's being nasty. But you guys come in with the dumbest shit, acting like they're serious questions. Then who use your bud? Where are you talking about, Lindsay? Yeah, we don't need that in here. I mean, I appreciate your position on it, but we don't need to go there for this. I got plenty of opinions on Lindsay, and I've shared some of it. I've been in her chats, and she knows how I feel about things and all that. But you know what I mean? You can come in, but you don't need to come in with that shit. So fair enough. Cool. Keep him away from Lindsay. Yeah, we'll put a rope on him and not let him around. Is there anybody else that you want us to keep him away from? Okay, seriously, we'll get right on that. I'll have to get some deadbolts on the RV so he can't lead the RV or something, I guess. But is that fair enough? Pretty sure he's a big boy and can handle himself. Immature and dumb comments and statements. They are so obvious. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the mindset. I really don't understand it. I mean, I do, because it's a small part of what you're going to hear tonight is perfect for this. Because see, they go from one position to another, one standing to another, in the blink of an eye. And it doesn't take much to get from point A to point B. It really doesn't. Z, I'm finally glad you said that shit out in public. Indeed. The suspicions are solved now. Everybody can relax. Everybody can breathe easy now that they know the truth. Yeah, Butch, I think we should. Matter of fact, I think you just did. We're gonna nominate Direwolf to hold DOA's hand. That works for me. I'll call him when I get off here, and I'll let him know what his new duties are going to be. Oh man. Anyhow, on a side note, before I forget to tell you, a couple of people are aware of it. I sent somebody, I sent somebody a listing today for an event coming up this weekend. All right, hang on a second. Cool. I hate that I can't see all the activity on the StreamYard app that I can see on YouTube. And I appreciate it, Annie M. And that's what I'm talking about. I just want to say something real quick before I get into this other thing. For anybody watching this right now, not the people that are in this chat in this chat that are typically here or that like to be here, but any of you fools that are out there, I just want you to understand something. If you want to get blocked or banned from this channel, if I do it, you're going to get banned, not just blocked or timed out. If you want to get blocked or banned from this channel, come in here with a name that is insulting to any of the regular chatters on this channel. That will get you blocked without anybody saying a fucking word. Do you understand that? So if you want to participate in this, don't come in here with these asinine names. I don't like it. I don't go for it. Don't appreciate it. And you're not going to fucking do it here. Fair enough? And for anybody that hasn't heard it, any of the mods on my channel, they know exactly where I stand with shit. So they know. They don't even have to ask. They don't have to think about it. If you come in here wrong, you're done. And it won't take long for it to happen, I promise you. Because we don't give a fuck about you being that stupid in this chat. And I think everybody in here feels the same way. Yeah, it's called respect. Absolutely. You know, you can say a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of things. You can say right and wrong. Doesn't matter. But you just come in just flat out disrespecting somebody like that. Sorry, not in my world. And if any mods have any questions about the name thing, just act on it. We don't even need to discuss it. If you see it and recognize that it's one of those things, just take them out. They want to create a regular name or something, come in here and say, hey, that was me and sorry about that, I won't do it again. We're cool with that. Doesn't matter. Or they can just not show up again. Yeah. Yeah, Chi, I think that everybody understands that there are certain times when people say something off color or otherwise. I don't care about that. And they may come on with a name that's funny as shit, that's been around a while, that maybe somebody hasn't seen, but I think everybody understands the main ones I'm talking about, and their how they do it and all that crap. Because it's not, I mean, it's not even funny. At least come up with something funny, for God's sake. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find these real quick. I got something else to do too, real fast. Hold on a second. Maybe. Listen to some nice Jeopardy music while I figure out what I'm doing here. Okay. That's taken care of. All right. So did anybody say whether they were thinking, like I said, I got one. How you doing, Maureen? I got one. How you doing, 52? I don't think I saw you in there before either. I got one anti-Scientology type thing, and I've got one, and everybody's going to know that one, and I got some others that are political. And if I piss you off with the political stuff, I'm sorry, but it's just some of the things you'll hear. Who promised you tea? I did not promise you any tea at all. I was stumbling 29 minutes ago. Don't tell me that. All right, so yeah. All right, let's go with the anti-Scientology related thing, and we'll go from there. And I can just tell you, it's like 3 minutes long. And a lot of you guys have heard this before. I know some of you have definitely heard it just recently. But the topic tonight is seeking truth. And when people speak, are they telling the truth or are they not? Do they mean what they say or not? Do others comprehend what they're saying or don't they? Because, see, a lot of times words can matter. And words can hurt and words can help. And words can identify who you are to yourself and to others. So that's kind of the theme for what I'm going for here tonight is the internet's forever. And what you say, it's always there. And it's always going to have some kind of meaning to it. So with that, here's the first one I want to do. And I think it's like 3 minutes long. So I'm just going to let it play. I'm going to try not to talk over it, but can't promise that, but I'll try. The golden rule. I like the golden rule. And I've lived my life by the golden rule, and I've raised my kids by the golden rule, ran my companies by the golden rule. Not a religious guy, but I don't think the golden rule is religious. I think it's a human thing. Anyhow, before I get distracted by some other brilliant comment, which I think that was brilliant, here we go.
Bad built bitch, you bowling ball stomach asshole. What the fuck you gotta say? Huh? Huh? Come your ass on, bitch. Come your bitch ass back on. Bring your fat, bad built ass on, you needle tip bitch. What you gotta say, huh? Huh?
Who's
What you
listening
gotta
tonight?
say? You bad built, ugly ass bitch. Huh? You broke ass hoe, crying about $100. Huh? Come on, show your face, you ugly ass dumb bitch. You know your fucking old bitch wrinkle ass don't look like that, you desperate ass bitch. Becky, say how you fuck Tiny. Go say how you suck Tiny's dick. Why don't you tell everybody that how you suck Tiny's dick, bitch? Huh, Becky? Huh, Bob and Becky? Bob and Becky? Huh, Bob and Becky? Bob and Becky? You Bob your neck, bitch. Bob your neck, bitch. Bob your neck, bitch. You the only independent dick licker. You the only independent dick licker on Skid Row, bitch. You and Mexican long hair. Y'all fell each other. Becky, I got you crying, bitch. You should. Nobody wants to be my friend. They're recording me. They're recording me. And Becky's the bum bitch. You know you don't look like that. You got your neck stretched out like you about to attack the dick, Becky. But you know you don't look like that. You old wrinkle up bitch. You old bad built ass bitch. Standing out there like a lonely lump. Like fucking, that's why the bald head beaver played you. You were sitting out there like a bad built lump. You look like a bump on the sidewalk. You the one broke the planter leaning against it. Becky, don't lie. You broke that planter leaning against it. Huh, sexy long hair? Hey, sexy long hair. Do you want to let's box? Let's box. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you fucking did, bitch.
This is a twofer deal.
Yes, you did, bitch. Get your whole ass up. And you said. Observation and comment. Please, why don't I just let you say what you said? It doesn't come from me. And dumbass, crackhead Kenny, one of the worst of the worst, the simp for DOA. Have the only independent needle passer out, bro.
And there you have it. I'm sure there's lots more, but that was more than enough. And yeah, I guess they kissed and made up a little bit. No, really what happened here is he said he was sorry. And that's all it takes, is he said he was sorry. And he said he was sorry to MLH. I don't know if MLH ever said he was sorry to him. I don't know if Becky ever said she was sorry to him. Don't really care. But now it's Miss Becky, Mrs. Becky, with a bunch of hearts and shit thrown with it. And come and be a mod here, and all the compliments and all the joyful joy. Right? I might play that every day for the rest of the time I'm on YouTube. That might be like the opener or the closing for every stream I do from here to eternity. Just so everybody has a chance to hear what it's all about. Because see, for a normal person, and I use that term pretty broadly here, you don't say shit like that and then just take it back. You don't hear shit like that said about yourself and then just, sorry. Oh, okay. That's not normal. That's just not normal brain function, no matter how you look at it. I mean, and to me, it proves a point. To me, it proves that everybody in this anti-Scientology community is not as independent as they think they are. Because see, if it were one-on-one, I don't think anybody would just accept sorry and be smoochy kissy face after that. Yeah, shooting pelts of cans in the front ear doesn't make you cool. I'd agree with that completely. And a lot of stuff we can sit and laugh at, but in the end, I hope some of this stuff opens people's eyes to understand that the things that they hear, that they believe, just like the couple of comments in here earlier tonight, it's just based on bullshit. Every bit of it was based on bullshit, what he was saying, that person was saying earlier in here. And what you just heard, here's what he's going to say about that, just so you know. This is the defense. I can almost guarantee it. He is going to say that DOA led him to do that. DOA expected him to do that. He and Scott telepathically coordinated that attack. That wasn't just him. Right? That's what the response will be. He'll try to put it on Scott. Some form or fashion. 10 toes down, remember? All that shit. Oh my God. The timing and the timing and awareness for some people is just fucking amazing to me. Here, I'll put this one up here. From Joshua, whoever Joshua is. I feel bad for Tilty Bird and Fluffer Squirrel. They did so much and shouldn't have been treated that way. Okay, before you get kicked out, which you might have already gotten kicked out. I don't know. We'll see. Before you get kicked out, just for being fucking stupid, explain to me how this fits into what anything we've said so far in this stream. And also explain to me the basis for what your statement is. They did so much and shouldn't have been treated that way. How were they treated? By who? When? What's the context of this? There is none. There's just none. It's just a real generic statement. So tell us all about it. You're already blocked. Well, you weren't already blocked when you typed that, because I can see that you said I'm already blocked. And maybe you are already blocked, but as you deserve to be blocked for coming in here saying that type of stuff, just trying to, fire people up with stupidity. I mean, there's a time and place that you could come in here and we could have a conversation, Joshua, about what you just put in here. I'd have no problem with that at almost any time. But were you not listening to anything going on here just prior to you typing that into the chat? Yeah. I'm not derailed, though, Chi. I mean, that's the thing. We take little detours here and there when we have to, but the stupidity doesn't derail me very often. At least I hope it doesn't. Maybe I'm delusional on that. But seriously, there's lots of times when I would love to have that conversation, because there's a lot of stupidity surrounding that circumstance. There's a lot of misinformation surrounding that circumstance. There's a lot of really asinine assumptions that were made surrounding that circumstance. And yeah, every time I'd hear one, the next one I'd hear was more asinine than the first. But the timing of doing this, exactly, Maui. Read the room, listen to the topics. We don't have random thoughts and incomplete sentences here. We try not to, at least. I know Maui, we still do we're not really that good on the incomplete sentence thing yet. We're definitely working on it, but yeah, we're not fucking scatterbrain. Okay. Maybe the places that you're used to going on YouTube in this community or otherwise operate that way, where you can just come in and say something just completely irrelevant to what you're hearing on a channel or in a chat or otherwise. Doesn't typically work that way with the people you just walked into. And I'm not trying to put us above anyone, but goddamn, do better, try harder, be relevant, be intelligent. Just do better. Well, now I got to go find this thing, get it off of there. There it is. Anyhow, so what'd you think about that? I'm going to guess most of the people in here have heard that before. Maybe not all of it, maybe just parts of it. But that's the stuff everybody should pay attention to, because that tells the level of players that we're dealing with. When that can go from everything you just heard to Mrs. Becky and Hearts, and going into both of their channels and being accepted into both their channels because he said, "I'm sorry." Yeah. Let's talk about character some other time. I got some other things I want to play. All right, moving on. I got to see which is which here. I can tell you these are going to be political in nature. And for those of you who know my position on a lot of things, you'll know kind of where this is coming from. And I'll just leave it at that. But it goes along the same lines as what somebody says at one point and then what they say at a later date, and trying to figure out how that works. Right? When you hear somebody say something, you should be able to trust that what they're saying is genuine, unless you know they're goofing on you, or they're known for goofing on people or otherwise. These examples aren't that. Just because somebody says they are good at roasting doesn't mean they are. And that shit's got to come from somewhere, right? Just doesn't come from thin air. So here's the first one. These aren't very long, but I think you guys might get the gist of where I'm going with this.
I will never quit. Stop. I will never stop until we keep a con man from taking over the party of Reagan and the conservative movement. He's a con man. He's a con man. He's a con man. I'll tell you why. Number one, people are angry and frustrated and scared about the future. Okay? People are working harder than they've ever worked in their lives, and they're running in place. And he swoops in and is taking advantage of that. He's taking advantage of that. He's telling people, I'm going to fight for the little guy. I'm fighting for the working class. Here's what he doesn't tell them. He has spent a career in business, 50 years, sticking it to the little guy. Sticking it to the little guy. When his companies went bankrupt, the first people that didn't get paid were the subcontractors, the plumbers and the pipe fitters and the people that laid bricks and all those people that work for a living. They didn't get paid. He got his money. They didn't get theirs. He's going around telling people, oh, I'm fighting to keep other countries from taking our jobs. What is he talking about? You ever bought a Trump tie? If you buy a Trump tie, you're not just getting a tacky tie. You're buying a tie made in China or in Mexico. He portrays himself as the strongest guy on illegal immigration. That's fine, but Trump Tower was built by illegal immigrants from Poland, who he paid $4 an hour, $12 hours a day. Okay? A judge found that he was involved in a conspiracy to defraud these workers of their pay. Even now in Florida, he has a hotel or something down there. And 300 Americans have applied for jobs at that hotel. All of them got turned down. Instead, he brings workers from other countries. He acts like he's some sort of tough guy. He's not a tough guy. This is the first guy that asked for Secret Service protection. First guy. The other day, he told the protester, I wish I could punch you in the face. Donald Trump has never punched anyone in the face, okay?
Everybody know who that is? Yeah, that's his now. I don't even know if I want to say that I know what his title is. Marco Rubio, National Security Advisor, or something like that, or whatever his title is. One of the bigwigs, standing right next to him, doing his bidding for him. Yeah, Marco Rubio. Come on. See what I mean? It's the same type of thing. You say that type of stuff, and then days or weeks or months or years later, here you are today. Here's another one.
That's probably, you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like? Here's what I can tell you, that life can change just like that. Don't take it for granted. Don't take relationships for granted. I called him after Bo died, and he basically said, well, Bo was my soul. Taught for a long time. He came to my ceremony and said some of the most incredibly heartfelt things that anybody could ever say to me. And he's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics. Is that right? He is as good a man as God ever created. And we don't agree on much, but I think he's been dealt a really gut blow. I think he focuses on what he's got to do, not what he lost. His heart's been ripped out, but he's going to make sure that the other members of his family is well taken care of. And he started talking about his grandkids, more worried about them than anything. We just talked about the future.
Yeah.
He started talking about the future of his family.
And listen to him today. I mean, listen to him today. And there's tons of examples that I could play that most of you in here have heard countless times. But again, go from that to where he is now. Yeah, talking about Biden, exactly. And how do you say something like that with that kind of delivery, and then turn around and just shit on him every time he opens his mouth? And this isn't about Biden, trust me. This is about people that want to make you think they're sincere and that they're knowledgeable and that they understand the concepts of life around them, but they don't, because it's all fake. It's all show. It's all theater. And I mean, I could probably play examples from both sides of the aisle. I just don't pay as much attention. I don't have that stuff. It's not as easily accessible because it just doesn't happen as much, to be truthful. But this shit drives me crazy. Here's another one.
White working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
He's playing the members of the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat.
President Trump has surrounded himself with the political elite who've spent like drunken sailors. They've raided Social Security, and they continue to waste taxpayer dollars. Everybody talked about the economy when Trump was president. He put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years.
Donald Trump is a con artist, has portrayed himself now consistently as fighting for the working people, and he has a record of sticking it to working people for 35 years.
What I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. His response is to accuse everybody else of lying. Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of doing. Everything in Donald's world is about lying.
These white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was good.
Yeah, that was a little collage of people having things to say. Needless to say, most of them are still extremely active in the party, whether they're in office or not. Still active and still supporting everything that's the exact opposite of what they said there. Does everybody know who the first one was? Anybody catch who the first person was? I will hold on a second. I'll play it one more time, just this very first part.
These white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Talk to the Trump supporters
That
for a
guy.
minute. I don't know.
Anybody pick up on who that one is? And I know I'm going to lose viewers. I may lose subscribers for this, but I don't care. Real is real, and it's kind of hard to argue with this. And if you're going to argue with this, then I don't know. Yeah, G, right on the money. He's the vice president right now. I'm sorry, Kyle. I'll try to play some of this stuff louder. I don't want to get too loud about the thing because it kind of distorts it. But yeah, that was the vice president. And that was two members of his cabinet. What changed? Were they lying or are they lying now? You know, was it back then they were not telling the truth? Is it now they're not telling the truth? Are they not being honest with themselves or the people around them or the American people or otherwise? Same thing with, you know, the example of Cracky. Was he not being honest then? Is he being honest now? Makes a difference. And I know some people don't like to hear this stuff because it's divisive and all that. It gets labeled as that and labeled as, radical politics and what have you. But the truth of the matter is that's what we're faced with. And like I said, just, I'm not saying this is just a right wing thing. This happens across the board, but it's certainly much more. It's easier to find examples of this there than on the left. But I guess it's easier to find extreme examples. And we don't need a whole lot more extreme in this country than we already have going on. But the one thing, the last thing I want to play, I don't remember how long this is. I hadn't heard it until tonight. I think it's maybe a couple days old, so some of you may have heard this, but I'm just gonna ask everybody really try to hear this. I really think it's something that I would love to be able to share with everyone. And I can just tell you that this is from just an average person. You'll hear at the end a couple details to fill you in on who's who or who it is, but to me it's pretty powerful and it has a lot of meaning. But before I play it, I need just a couple minutes. I gotta take care of something real quick. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Entertain, Chi. All right, sorry about that. Sorry about the dead air space. But this last thing I want to play, like I said, it's pretty serious. The one thing I wanted to say too about the political stuff, the stuff I just played, it wasn't really about Trump. That wasn't really about him. It wasn't about Biden. It wasn't about the president or otherwise. That was, and it wasn't really right and left, because like I said, I'd call it out. Somebody wants to find stuff like that from the left, I'll play it on here too. I'm okay with that. I just hate phony people. I hate people that can say one thing 1 minute and another thing completely contradicting what they said prior the next minute. That's what that's really about. So anyhow, this is about the protests and stuff, the ICE protests right now. And I hope people listen to it. And I think like I said, I think it's a pretty powerful thing. It is just a guy that was sent to submit a bunch of information, and he's just sitting in a chair. He's not doing anything else. Dog walks by while he's talking at one point, but other than that, he explains himself pretty well. And like I said, I hadn't seen it until now, so hope you guys appreciate it. And I'll just tell you right away, it's almost 12 minutes long. So relax for a minute and hang out if you like it or want to, or take off if you get bored with it or otherwise. But I want to play it. So here we go.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff. I've been looking at lots of emails and messages from people in Minnesota. And I have people calling me, and I'm having conversations with them, and we're trying to get a handle on the kind of stuff you're seeing on the news. I'm looking at trying to pull stuff out, details about what's going on there that you guys are seeing. Every time I think about writing a script, I keep coming back to this letter that I got today. And I think instead of me trying to pull together some sort of
Judy, Jeff is just the guy that's talking. I don't know him. I don't follow this guy or anything. It came across my timeline and caught my attention, and just listened to it. And I thought it was something worth sharing. So it's one of the things that prompted me to do this live tonight, among the other stuff, but this really iced it. So,
highlight bullet points of all the great stuff that's coming to me.
Can you guys hear it okay?
I'm just going to read one letter. It's a little lazy for me to do that, but I think it's really powerful, and I'd like for you guys to hear it. This is from, the Trump administration is calling everybody these domestic terrorists, right? Domestic terrorists, agitators. Okay? I'm going to read you something from an agitator. I've had several of you from out of state ask about us, and I'll tell you things are far worse than anything the mainstream media is presenting. There are too many videos to share and far too many ICE raids, beatings, abductions, other crimes to even begin to count, let alone have any hope of knowing about, let alone sharing. And of course, we all know about Renee Good's brutal murder last week. Everybody I know here is shaken to the core. Over these weeks, I've been sharing videos and photos and other people's stories because they need to be shared. People need to know what's happening in real terms, not the balanced 30-second segments on mainstream media. I'm writing tonight because, frankly, I don't know what else to do. A video shared by a close coworker in front of her church yesterday, and more abductions at bus stops today, became the last straw, to be honest. I'm tired and angry. And so is everyone else here. I'm saying these things because we need people outside the Twin Cities to understand these are not a handful of incidents. We are literally under the largest federal occupation of an American city in generations. With over 2,000, some say 2,400 ICE agents here and another 1,000 on the way, it is deliberate political targeting of my state. The rest of the country should be watching. This is the testing ground. You don't want to live this way, I promise you. Fight like hell because they intend to bring this everywhere. The people in neighborhoods in my city are not abstractions. They are more than scenes that flash across your nightly news and social feed. We live here. We know these people who are being harassed and taken. We know are those who are witnessing this violence. One of the coworkers witnessed Renee Good's murder. I know many people who live in that neighborhood where ICE is absolutely relentless, including violently abducting multiple people. Just on the street alone yesterday and every day, the notifications for raids and abductions are nonstop, all hours of the day and night. At times, they're going door to door, lately kicking in the door, armed to the teeth, entering illegally without a warrant and without batting an eye. They're pulling fire alarms in apartment buildings to grab people on their way out of the buildings. They pull over when they see a person of color at a gas station, like yesterday afternoon, a few blocks from here, or a bus stop like this morning, or walking down the street every single day to harass and very often violently abduct them. These agents aren't out for any particular reason. Don't buy the lies about picking up criminals. They just grab whoever they deem non-white. Native Americans have been taken, and many of them are still missing. They're also abducting white legal observers, including those who offer no confrontation whatsoever. Yesterday, they violently abducted an autistic woman who was just trying to get to a doctor's appointment on the street that they were occupying. They gassed legal observers, or any observers, and protesters with tear gas, banned by the Geneva Convention for Civilians, and mace and pepper balls. They shoot non-munition at close range that sends people to the hospital, and in some cases permanently blinds people. Yes, they deliberately aim at their faces. I get so tired of hearing people lecture about what ICE can and cannot do legally. Yes, we all know. The problem is ICE agents don't care, and they don't want to do what they want. DHS has told them that they have unconditional immunity. Their raids are everywhere, including places we go regularly: restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, parks, hospitals, any kind of business or public space you can think of. In many parts of the city, you literally cannot go out without hearing the sirens and whistles. And then the constant helicopters. Everyone who lives here knows what I mean. Every parent here, I worry for my daughter's school because they are, yes, targeting schools. Last week, they attacked students and a staff at a Minneapolis high school. Yesterday, it was a middle school and elementary school. Today, it was circling nearly all South Minneapolis elementary and middle schools. ICE is at daycare centers and preschools. Parents are volunteering to monitor school pickups and drop-offs. And yesterday, there was a police presence at my daughter's school. Many kids can't even go to school now because there's so much fear that they or their parents will be taken. Schools are rushing to create online classes, hybrid setups, accommodate those who don't feel safe enough to come to school. Children have literally been abducted on their way home from school by ICE. I know of at least one parent who was abducted at a bus stop today while she stood with her elementary school child. They illegally entered the college campus I worked at and abducted a student there. Again, this is what I know through my own personal networks. Oh, and ICE is blocking the food distribution center at the Minneapolis public schools, so trucks can't get out to deliver lunches. It's been reported to the Minnesota Attorney General, but that doesn't change the fact that students will go hungry. Thousands upon thousands of people are afraid to leave their homes to go to grocery shopping, visit food shelves, get medicine, or go to work. Businesses are empty or closed because workers are terrified to travel or to be visible in their jobs. Women in their neighborhood are asking through back channels about at-home midwives because they're afraid to go to the hospital to have their babies. And their fear is warranted. ICE has been entering hospitals without warrants. They've attacked people outside hospitals, and they've also been waiting outside multiple hospitals, including a children's hospital, to pick up people of color who come out the doors. Neighborhoods and churches, including my own, are scrambling to organize mutual aid efforts to get groceries to people to help pay bills while family members can't go to work, or drive those who are afraid to be seen behind the wheel or at a bus stop. We're not just talking about undocumented people. We're talking about any person of color. These are our neighbors. Our children's classmates, our friends and family members. Our city, but increasingly our entire metro area, is seeing and dealing with these cosplay thugs every single day. And they're moving into rural areas as well, picking up people indiscriminately. Again, This has nothing to do with criminal backgrounds and everything to do with race. Now, on top of it all, we have a bunch of white supremacist goons coming here in a few days to march in the most terrorized neighborhoods. The only comfort is that it's supposed to be single digits next week. Welcome to Minnesota, you fucking losers. I added you fucking. We saved our best weather just for you. I'm beyond disgusted with these thugs and those who support this assault on our constitutional rights, let alone basic human decency. My community is exhausted and fried from stress. And I'm a white person who doesn't even live in the epicenter. I can't imagine what many are going through right now who can't work and have no income. Those whose loved ones have been taken or beaten or murdered. The children who are forever traumatized at the loss of their parents. But make no mistake, we aren't backing down. I've lived in a lot of places in my life, and I have to say, they chose the wrong freaking state. People are organizing beyond anything I've ever seen in my life, and it makes me so damn proud to live in this city. I've never loved it more, and I'll keep fighting for it. So please, share the videos, stories, amplify everything you see coming out of this state. The mainstream media is all but dead. Follow Georgia Fort, blah, blah, blah. It goes on to say who she thinks you should follow, copy and share, et cetera, et cetera.
This is important here.
That's one letter, and I get hundreds of these letters now, okay? When you say somebody's an agitator, that's the language that the Trump administration is using. Domestic terrorists, right? Terrorists is a word. You know, remember when they're bombing the boats off the coast of Venezuela? They weren't drug dealers. They weren't fishermen. They were terrorists. You call somebody something, it makes it a lot more easy to accept what's going on. Domestic terrorists, right? Agitators. I think they're agitated. I think civilians in Minneapolis are agitated. And the people they're agitated with are the agitators. That's what a lot of the information I'm getting from people who are calling and writing and texting. And I think that when you look at this situation, it's really easy for the Trump administration to put these labels on people. Don't let them put these labels on you. Agitating is really just another word for protesting. These people are protesting. They have a constitutional right to protest. They have a constitutional right to film. They don't deserve to be beaten up by these people, these ICE guys who are coming in and doing all this stuff. I just want to get this out and post it today. We'll have more stuff on Minneapolis, but I want you to understand what the people are feeling like inside Minneapolis. And this so-called agitator, I mean, she's one of many who they're forming, you know, you're talking about, Trump administration is talking about paid agitators coming into the city. The stuff I'm getting from people are from people who are running church organizations. You know, they're running private community groups. They're banding together. They're not coming in from outside anywhere. There's no paid anything. And by the way, even if people were paid, there's nothing illegal about paying people to protest. But it's just bullshit. Nobody's doing that. These are local people. They're housewives. They're mothers. They're fathers. This particular woman is a hairstylist. She's a hairstylist. So you're saying hairstylists who are protesting the way the governments are treating brown people and immigrants, you're saying she's a terrorist now? Like, follow, and share. Spread the word about what this is really about. This is about control. And this is about the Trump administration trying to punish blue states. We'll have more details on that. But if you look at the states that are really getting cracked down on, they're all run by Democratic governors. Same's going to happen here in Virginia because we just changed from a Republican governor to Democratic governor. Like, follow, and share. Thanks for listening.
Hairstylist. A hairstylist wrote that. Not a thug. Not a full-time protester. Certainly not an agitator, and certainly not a fucking terrorist. Well, I guess I figured out how to clear people off of my channel. interesting. That was one of the things I wanted to see what happened with this too throughout this stream. By playing the stuff that I played, by focusing on what I was focused on, how many would hang out and how many would leave. Lost almost 50%. Butch, no, I did not. I didn't catch a lot, to be honest. I had some stuff going on. I wasn't on that much, but some of the stuff I did see was enough to move me, I guess. Yeah, it is all heavy, Paige. I mean, it's yeah, and I again, like I said, I didn't want to turn tonight into a right left thing or an anti-Trump thing or anything else. That wasn't really what I was going for. I just wanted people to understand that, the whole living life without convictions that you can stand by for a long time. I'll be honest with you, the convictions I have, they're the same as they've been for 30 years or longer, probably longer. The stuff that matters to me today mattered to me 10 years ago. And I'm confident that the stuff that matters to me today is going to matter to me 10 years from now, if I'm still breathing. I mean, it just, and the way I address people is consistent. I'm not saying that I'm what's the word here? I don't know. I'm not saying I won't get into it with people. I won't say things about people, but if you hear me say it about somebody today, you're going to hear me say about it 6 months ago or 6 months from now. It's going to be the same thing. I challenge people to show where I flip-flop that way. What? Oh, Scott's on? I don't care if Scott's on. What the hell does that matter? No, I'm kidding. That's good. I want to go catch it, see what he's doing. Anyhow, I hope, was that post on YouTube? Do you have a link? I don't recall where it was, to be honest with you, right this second. I'll see if I can put a link in the comments or something. And then if nothing else, I can get his name or tell you where it is so you guys can search it. But
he's been on for 17 minutes.
Has he?
You're going to get off of here, go check out his, and he's going to say, I'm tired.
Yeah, he'll say, all right, I'm tired. See you later. Yeah, I'll try to get the information put down, either in the comments or something, and let you know who that was. Like I said, I just it moved me. I got to tell you, when somebody from the area has that kind of wherewithal to talk and express, real time what's going on in her community, I think it's a shame that everybody doesn't listen. And the fact that, whether I lost viewers because Scott came on or I lost viewers because people didn't like what they were hearing, doesn't matter, to be honest. I'm okay with both. But I hope some of the people that didn't want to hear that listened enough to hear it, because I think it applies to everybody. So with that, I'm going to jump off here. Scott's on. I'm sure everybody's kind of doing the double thing, but I appreciate y'all stopping in. Appreciate all the commentary. Everybody saying hi to you, Lisa, if you're not watching it. And I'll see you next time. Enjoy it. Be safe out there. If you guys are going out today to protest, definitely be safe. And to the mods here, Chi and White Snake and Z and everybody else, anyhow, I appreciate it. See you guys out there. He's just BC Live tomorrow. Check him out. He's dressed just like nice. Yeah, I'm sure, Butch. It wouldn't shock me for a second. So, all right. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you over at Scott's or wherever. Take care.